Hello and welcome back to Nerd Doc. This video covers the kill order and ending of Scream, which we'll now refer to as Scream 5 so there's no confusion. There will be spoilers for Scream 5. If you do not wish to be spoiled, you can check out our spoiler-free review linked in the description below. If you want to get caught up on all the films, you can also find our Scream movie timeline video linked below, which covers the ending of Scream 1 through Scream 4. Now we can't show you the actual footage from Scream 5 because the video might get pulled, but we'll do the best we can. We'll start with the main characters and move on to the kill order and the ending. You'll find chapter timestamps below so you can skip ahead. Also be sure to leave a comment if you'd like additional information on the characters, deaths, or ending, and let us know if you agree with who lived and who died because we're probably getting a Scream 6 with the survivors. The main characters in Scream 5 are the trio of Sidney Prescott, Dewey Riley, and Gale Weathers. Dewey was forced into retirement with alcohol issues, and he and Gale are no longer together, but they never actually confirm if they're divorced or not. Deputy Judy Hicks is back from Scream 4, and Martha Meeks returns from Scream 3. Judy is now the sheriff of Woodsboro and has one son, Wes. Martha has two kids, Mindy and Chad. Chad is dating Liv McKenzie, whose ex-boyfriend is Vince Schneider, who also happens to be the nephew of Stu Macher, one of the killers from the first movie. There are two sisters in Scream 5, Tara and Sam Carpenter. Tara's best friend is Amber Freeman, and Sam's boyfriend is Richie Kirsch. Sam is the daughter of Billy Loomis, the other killer from the first Scream movie, and has regular visions of Billy, similar to Dexter Morgan's Dark Passenger in the Dexter Showtime series. That covers all of the important characters. Now let's move on to the kill order and ending. The first person attacked in Scream 5 is Tara. However, she survives and goes to the hospital. The first actual death is Vince. You basically see his death in the trailer, standing at his car outside of a bar. Next up on the chopping block is Sheriff Hicks, then her son Wes. Both die at their home. After that, another random police officer dies at the hospital, but Dewey is the next main character who dies, and the only one of the classic trio that dies in the film. That's right, Sidney and Gale both survive. Dewey dies at the hospital while saving Sam and Tara. He ends up shooting Ghostface several times, but the killer is wearing a bulletproof vest, shout out to Scream 3, so Dewey goes back to make sure Ghostface is dead and meets his demise. Amber holds a party to honor their fallen friend Wes, which is where the end of the film takes place. Amber just so happens to live at Stu Macher's house from the original movie, making the end of Scream 5 similar to the end of the first film. After Tara is attacked at the hospital and Dewey dies during the rescue, Sam tries to leave town with Tara and Richie. Gale has already arrived so she can cover the murders, and Sidney comes back after hearing that Dewey died. Sidney tries to get Sam to help her end things that night by basically serving as bait, but Sam refuses and just wants to leave town. Sidney puts a tracker on Richie's car so she can follow them. Tara doesn't have her inhaler, which she needs, so Tara, Sam, and Richie all go to Amber's house so they can get Tara's spare inhaler. Just before they arrive, Chad and Liv are making out on the couch. Liv finally decides to have sex with Chad for the first time, but Chad refuses because he doesn't want to go upstairs with Liv when he's not 100% sure she isn't the killer. So obviously, Liv gets upset and storms out. Later on, Chad goes outside trying to find her when he encounters Ghostface. He immediately gets stabbed in the leg, but gets away. After briefly hiding, he makes a run for it and the killer catches up to him and stabs him several more times. This is when Richie's car pulls up and the killer decides to leave to avoid being seen. Back inside the house, Mindy is lying on the couch watching one of the stab movies that mimics the exact scene with someone getting stabbed while lying on the couch. Ghostface comes up behind her and gets one stab in before Sam comes in and the killer runs. Liv, Amber, and Richie all come into the room and start accusing each other of being the killer. Amber then shoots Liv in the head, which is the first non-stabbing death of the movie, and reveals that Amber is Ghostface. The others get away before she can kill anyone else. Sidney and Gale pull up and start walking toward the front door. Amber comes out acting like she's been stabbed, but Sidney and Gale think it's a trap and Amber opens fire on them, hitting Gale but not killing her. Sidney fires back, but misses. Gale stays outside while Sidney goes into the house and eventually heads upstairs. She ends up shooting through a door, hitting Richie in the leg, but is then attacked by Ghostface and both are knocked over the balcony and down to the first floor. Sidney's gun is knocked away and Richie hobbles downstairs to retrieve it. Sam appears and grabs the firearm, but before she can shoot Ghostface, Richie stabs her and takes the gun, revealing that he's the second killer. Sidney, Sam, Richie, and Amber all move into the kitchen, then Amber goes outside to bring Gale in. Amber and Richie then explain that they met on Reddit, which is the movie version of Reddit. They were fans obsessed with the Stab movies who were upset at how bad Stab 8 was, so they decided to make a better real-life story that would then be turned into a new Stab movie. Tara, Sam's injured sister, calls the house phone. Amber goes looking for her, and Tara pummels her with her crutch and gets away. Sidney tries to grab a knife on the counter, but Richie ends up stabbing her, but this gives Sam time to get away. Richie then goes after Sam and Tara, leaving Amber with Sidney and Gale. After a struggle that turns on the stove, Gail shoots Amber several times, causing her to fall onto the stove, igniting herself. Richie follows Sam's blood trail upstairs. Sam jumps out of a room, knocks Richie down, then goes back downstairs. Richie catches up to her, and they struggle until Sam is slowly moving along the floor, trying to get to a partially hidden knife. She has a vision of Billy Loomis, who points her to the knife, and she's able to stab Richie a lot. Like, a lot. Gail and Sydney show up, and Sydney comments that the killer always comes back, so Sam shoots Richie several times. Richie doesn't come back, but half-burned and shot up Amber comes running in for one last attack. Tara suddenly appears and shoots Amber before she can do anything. Scream 5 ends with ambulances outside, showing Mindy and Chad are still alive. So the main characters left alive are Martha, Mindy, Chad, Sam, Tara, Sydney, and Gail. That wraps up this video. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who loves Scream.